Welcome to Dwayne and Nidia's Kitchen. It's been a minute since I've been in the kitchen with all of you, and today I've decided to make something that I tend to order an awful lot when I go out to Portuguese restaurants, but have never shown you my own recipe here on our channel. And it's Littlenecks Spanish style. I believe we have made Littlenecks Brilhão Pato style, which is another video that we have already published, but this is Littlenecks Spanish style. And the difference is this one is made with a few different spices and lots of onions and a little bit of linguica and chourico. So I'm going to tell you exactly what goes into this Littlenecks Spanish style, and then I want to take you to the stove and show you how it's done. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly what ingredients and what spices and exactly what we need in order to make our Littlenecks Spanish style. First, I have about a pound of chourico and linguica that I have sliced into slices. I do have about 3 medium size to medium large size yellow onions. I have 1 beer, any kind of beer. I have olive oil. I have minced garlic, but you can certainly use fresh garlic if you prefer. I have a Portuguese version of a hot crushed pepper, and I am using some paprika, some sea salt, about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm using some hot sauce, any brand will do, and of course I have 2.5 pounds of Littlenecks. They're a good size. You'll see them when I put them in the pan. They're actually the last thing I put into this dish. Dwayne has already washed those and scrubbed those with a brush. You can see how clean they are. And there's absolutely no sand. Their edges have been scrubbed and they're ready to go. They're the last part of this dish that I pulled together. And I will see you at the stove and show you which steps and how we put this meal, actually, or an appetizer together for you. Okay, so now we're at the stove. It's actually quite quick to pull this dish together. I'm going to put my flame, and I'm going to put in a healthy amount of olive oil. I am estimating this is about, I would say, about a quarter of a cup, or maybe several large tablespoons. And the reason I need a little bit of olive oil is because I'm going to saute all of these onions in that olive oil. So I am putting up the heat, and the olive oil is in the pan, and I'm putting in the raw onions. These are yellow onions. And also, just for the flavor, the butter that I mentioned before. And now we're going to let this just cook down and sweat down and sizzle, and saute them in advance of any other thing that we're going to add. I can hear the sizzle already, so I'll keep this sizzling away and join you back once this has all started to caramelize. So this is still cooking away. It's only been about a minute since I came back. I want to talk to you a little about this pan, because you've not seen me cook with this pan before, and you haven't seen me use it because it's new. And for those of you who watch or follow Oprah's Favorite Things, it's a list of her favorite things that she typically publishes every year around the holidays. And this is one of her favorite things for this year, and I assume that she's also hooked up with, I think it's Ariana Grande, to do a big promotion. This is called the Every Type, Any Place or All Pot. I'll put a link to it. It's from Amazon, but it's basically a pot that you can use for almost anything, and it has a nice cover. It comes with a spoon that rests. It's all metal. It's completely non-stick. It has a handle. It can go from stove to oven very easily, and a lot of dishes actually get finished in the stove depending on what you're making. It's very lightweight, but it's called, I believe it's called the all pan or the any pan too. I will put the link there. But again, this isn't sponsored, but I'm loving this pan. Now you can see that the onions are getting coated in the butter and in the olive oil, and I think I judged the amount about right. You don't want it swimming in oil, but you have to have enough to make sure that you coat these onions so that they don't stick and so that they brown nicely. And we'll be back when it's time to add more ingredients to the caramelized sauteed onion mix. All right, so with sizzling away, you can see the onions have started to sweat down. Sure you can see the sizzle. It smells very oniony, very good. What we're going to do now is add in our garlic. If you're using fresh garlic, there's really no set amount. Add as much garlic as you like. Some people like things with more garlic than less. I'm adding 2 tablespoons and a half of this minced garlic in water, my typical favorite kind to use. At this point, I am also going to add some salt. Okay, now I do have salt in my salt shaker and my salt pincher. I use coarse ground sea salt. You can always do a taste test at the end and check to see if you've got your salt level and just your overall spice level where it needs to be. So now we have salt, garlic, and our onions sauteing in our olive oil and butter mixture. And you have to be patient with the onions. Onions take a while, but it's worth the wait, trust me. I'm going to continue to stir this. And it's really starting to sweat down nicely and get very coated in that garlic. And as the onions get softer and softer, I will now add my mix of sliced chopped linguica and chourico. And you know, you can use one or the other. I'm using both because I had part of a rope of chourico that I had been using for another recipe earlier, and I had a leftover piece of linguica, so I just chopped what I had left in the fridge, and that's what's going in here. And you know, it's you can add as much of the Portuguese sausage of either kind as you like. And again, this is going to start flavoring and also turn this into a nicer color due to the spices and things in the linguica and in the chourico. So I'll continue to saute this and show you when it's ready to add more of our next ingredient. Look how this is cooking down. Onions are getting nice and soft, and the meat is starting to get cooked down. You can see it's changing color. And remember, we still have a bit to do here because we're going to cook Littlenecks at the very, very end, so you don't have to make sure that you do all of the linguica cooking and everything. It will continue to cook in the sauce while the Littlenecks steam. So what we're going to do here now is add a little bit of paprika. Well, before the paprika, actually, we're going to add a little bit of Goya first. I always add the Goya first. There is, this is a spice blend that we use for making Mozambique sauces, and you can actually make quite a bit. It's a seasoning blend. Sazon Goya. You can find it in just about any grocery store here. It's a staple of a lot of Portuguese cooking, Spanish cooking as well. And you can see it brings out a beautiful color. I've used 2 packets here, certainly less than we would use if we were making a Mozambique. Look at this color, see? It's looking really nice now. And I do have some dried paprika right here in this new container that I've just opened. And this is just a powdered regular paprika. Another mainstay, the garlic, paprika, olive oil is like the Trinity base, or the Holy Trinity base of a lot of the Portuguese cooking that you see around southeastern Massachusetts, or even in Portugal itself, although it's a little bit different than it has been here with a bit Americanized and a little bit of fusion of other influences. What I'm going to add now is parsley. You can use dry parsley, you can use fresh parsley. I'm using something in between. This is parsley that Dwayne grows, and he dries it himself. I've taken this parsley and I've chopped it, and it adds a really nice color, but it smells amazing, and it adds a really nice flavor as well. Now you can buy spicy chourico and linguica. I didn't. This is just the regular, and it's very mild. For my spice, I prefer to use a little bit of the hot crushed peppers, Portuguese style. There's many different brands. I believe there's an Amarol's brand, and there are a couple of other brands. I'm going to use 1 good tablespoon and a half. If you don't like using this kind of pepper, by all means, use crushed red pepper or use black pepper, white pepper. You can really use any pepper you like. That gives it a beautiful, beautiful color. And it smells amazing, if I do say so myself. There is salt in the Goya seasoning packet, so that's why I kind of went light on the salt. But again, final tasting will give you everything you need to know. And look at how beautiful this is looking. What I'm going to do now, a lot of people will probably take issue with, I'm adding hot sauce. I like things spicy, and that's why I'm adding the hot sauce, but you don't have to. And you can add any kind of hot sauce that you like, if you choose the option to add the hot sauce. I'm going to lower this a little bit now, because what I'm going to do is add 1 beer. A lot of people make their version of Spanish-style Littlenecks with wine. I like to use a beer. Again, any beer. I'm using whatever I found in the fridge. This one happens to be a Sam Adams. Now I'm going to let this simmer. I'm going to put it on low and just kind of let this marry for a bit, especially now that it's going to have to heat up back to temp. So we'll see you when we're ready to do some more spicing and bring those Littlenecks and give them a bath in here. Okay, so this is still simmering, but what I'm going to do now, since I have it on low, and watch, this is how the spoon attaches. I'm actually going to put the cover on this and let this simmer for a few minutes. And there is a little bit of air that can escape from this lid. So again, just another reason why I really like this pot, and I'm getting used to using it. So here we go. I'm going to put this simmering for a little bit with the lid on, and then I'm going to come back and put the Littlenecks in. We're almost done. Okay, so this is, you can see onions just about cooked down, linguica cooked down, beautiful sauce. Here's our Littlenecks. They're really nicely sized. This is the last thing I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to put the Littlenecks right into all of this sauce. Just like you see me putting here. These are the clean, ready to go, 2.5 pounds of Littlenecks. And you can certainly double or triple this recipe. I mean, I've seen people make this in a huge vat with a big, you know, aluminum cover. And again, every single one of these is closed nice and tight. They're nice and fresh. Dwayne actually picked them up at Blount, where he also got a lobster for another video for lobster salad. Again, you want to make sure your shellfish is always nice and closed tight. This is beautiful, and I am going to just move this around. It's on low, and what I'm going to do now is kind of just embed these in the sauce, and then I'm going to put the lid on. And these will slowly steam in this sauce, releasing their own juices. And here's my lid going back on. Take a last look, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're nearly done. Okay, so while these are in here and in the sauce steaming, you do need to check every so often and kind of stir it around. It hasn't been long enough to really steam them yet. It's getting there though, I can feel the heat. And those little necks will cook up right there. Again, the lid on, and every so often just check, give it a stir, and little by little you'll see those little necks start to open, releasing their own juices from inside the shell, adding to the sauce, and making me even more hungry and anticipating more of what deliciousness this will be like when we're ready to eat it. So there you have it, folks. Look, the little necks have opened. They have steamed themselves open. Their juices have mingled with the sauces in here. This smells amazing. And I'll show you how we eat this. Here's a close-up shot. Linguica and the little necks that have steamed open. Here we go. Just about ready to serve. Such a treat. Usually I only have this when I go out to a Portuguese restaurant, and you know, with my friends, we tend to prefer the one with the onions, although I like the bouillon pato version very much as well. But this looks and smells amazing. Turn it off, and we'll plate it and show you what it looks like and how you eat it. All right, so I have taken that deliciousness out of the pot, and I have put it in this glass casserole dish. And the sauce with the onions, the linguica, I have toasted some Portuguese bread with a little bit of olive oil and a spray of butter on both sides in the oven. And of course, like every good Portuguese person, that sauce is made for dipping. So this is Portuguese style little necks, Spanish style little necks, although it is Portuguese style, to be Spanish style. Alrighty, it's time to taste the Spanish style little necks. It certainly smells good. It's hot. I have my toasted bread. Dwayne likes a huge amount of sauce. He uses a bowl. I just smeared the sauce in the bottom. Take the crusty bread. I actually eat it like little toast points. I take the little necks out of the shell, take a little piece of linguica with the onion in the mix, and make myself a crunchy little best bite.
Yeah, my habit is very different, and I won't follow it all the way through. I like to take every meat out of the shells. I just find, I don't like reaching into the bowl over and over again, so I figure if I'm going to get my fingers dirty, I'm going to do it once. And I'm actually almost done.
And this onion mix on the bread with that sauce, a taste of the linguica.
It's nice and hot.
Piping hot. You can see the steam coming from it.
Temperature, yes. And now I have a bowl of everything.
Sauce.
And the reason I like the bowl is a lot of times you have bigger breads than this too. And I like to be able to actually dunk and really soak it up. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Dunk it, it's very good. And I do also do like, what she'll do is make those little best bites along the way. Get some onion, get a piece of linguica, a little, or chourico, whichever. And that little piece of little neck, and there you go.
But
it'll be awesome.
Lots of different places make this dish. This is just my take on it. The one option that I did add right at the very, very end off camera was a little bit of lemon juice because I find acid makes it pop. Not a lot, just enough.
Yep.
Didn't add anything else. If I did, I would have told you. But I think this is killer the way it is.
Well, the way you add bread, plus you can do it, you can put this on some pasta, you can do...
Oh man, this is so good.
It just...
There will not be any leftover. We're going to eat all of these little necks, and that mishmash of sauce, you can make yourself a Portuguese Spanish-style ramen out of that with any kind of sausage or chicken. Oh my goodness, this is so good. So again,
awesome.
I already thanked you before, but we wanted to show you that we're eating actually what we just cooked in our kitchen.
Oh, absolutely. This is not going to waste in this house. And hopefully not in yours.
See you soon, and thanks again.
Thank you for tuning in. Till next time, Dwayne and Nidia.